You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast, Cards to the Moon, for our Friday episode. This is also episode 99. My name is Clark from 5 Card Guys on Instagram and 5cardguys.com. And with me, as usual, is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess. Off the top today, I just wanted to get your thoughts on the newly released 2022 Topps Chrome Sapphire edition baseball set. We've liked Sapphire baseball cards in the past, but one big change to this year's set, I don't know if you guys realize, is that it doesn't seem to come with an autograph hit like it did in previous years. It only comes with 2 color Sapphire parallels instead. So right. I've heard both sides. People think autograph cards are overrated. If it's not a big hit, if it's an autograph of a not a big name guy, they're usually not worth that much. So some people don't mind it being replaced with 2 color parallels in the Sapphire set. But yeah, thoughts on this change and your thoughts on the Topps Chrome Sapphire set in general.
I personally like Topps Chrome Sapphire. I didn't get a chance to kind of look through it, but that's kind of odd that they didn't include autos. So I mean, I know autos are a big chase and they're a lot more short printed, but I think the rookie class, is pretty good this year. So I think it'd be great whether what images are kind of, I guess Julio Rodriguez is going to have a new image again. Right. And then it'll add to the kind of mix, but in general, I like the Topps Chrome Sapphire product. I just checked the website and it says it's sold out. So I remember I had a chance to buy it and I totally forgot. And obviously it's going to hit the resale market. But yeah, overall, I believe 2018 was the first time it was in a set. That's what we kind of did our research on. And, it's been that set was big with Acuna. And the following years, 2019, had good rookie classes. They've done well. I feel like the last couple of years have been a little bit of disappointment because they had like Topps Chrome Update Sapphire last year. They might do it this year again, but I think this is the release that like a lot of people look for because that's where you're going to get your Julio Sapphires and your Bobby Witt Jr. Sapphires and whatnot. But I don't know how, like, just especially with Julio and Bobby Witt, their cards in general, I don't know if there's that big of a hype still going. I remember Sapphire used to be an earlier release. I want to say October, November, and we're into December. So I don't know if that hype might kind of like die down in terms of price. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed to see that there's no autos for sure. But other than that, it's a product that I always look forward to. So.
Yeah, definitely a lot of rookies. You already mentioned J-Rod and Bobby Witt. Spencer Torkelson's in this one. Wander Franco as a rookie is in this set too.
Everybody forgot about Wander.
Yeah, so he's in there. Spencer Strider. So yeah, there's a good number of rookie names out there. I want to cycle back to J-Rod in a second, but John, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think about the Topps Chrome Sapphire this year?
Yeah, I watched Scotty B's video. Looks like the checklist of rookies and chase cards looks pretty nice. So I'm sure it's going to be, like Hyung said, it already sold out. So it's probably going to be pretty desired. Sapphire is always usually popular. I feel like it lost a little bit of its luster from the past couple of years, and it could have been due to the fact that the rookie classes were a bit weaker. But this one should rebound. Let's hope for Sapphire fans it should rebound. The autograph thing, that's probably pretty disappointing overall. But you know what? Like, for some reason, and you guys know this too, like Sapphire, of all the big boy products, the autographs aren't super, super popular in Sapphire for some reason. Maybe it's because they continue to use different images and it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I don't know what it is. but with Sapphire, people seem to really chase the parallels, and then the autos seem to kind of fall by the wayside a little bit. I mean, the values are still strong, but you guys kind of get where I'm going with. So
Yeah.
I can understand the kind of mixed point of view, but come on, like to not have autographs and to replace it with additional parallels. Yeah, no, that's pretty disappointing.
The crazy thing too is something to note. There's 660 cards in the base set.
Yeah,
That's normally Topps Chrome. Yeah, you're dealing with 300 cards, so we're talking a full set. So both series 1 and series 2 is in there. So if you're ripping, I mean that's a lot tougher pull than a regular Topps Chrome, because now you're
Right.
breaking in 2 sets, have 660 cards to basically pull through, and there's 8 packs per box and 4 cards per pack, so you get 32 cards out of the 660.
It's basically like a blaster, right?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Typical to Sapphire. It's going to be hard to pull anything decent.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so not a bad move to wait and snipe on eBay, kind of like the hits, the people that want to just make their money quick, and maybe
it's definitely not a ripping product. You just you let somebody else rip it, and you just snipe the cards.
No autos, 660 base sets.
Yeah. I'm not gonna rush and buy a box for myself. I like the look of Sapphire, but I was never a big buyer into Sapphire. Like I don't own any Sapphire cards at all. I guess I'm a little disappointed with the hearing about the no autograph in the set, and the parallels don't really do it for me. So I don't have too much of an opinion other than what you guys already shared. I was going to mention the pretty big checklist at 660. I think it was like that the past or the previous years as well. So yeah, it's a good point that you brought up, Hyung, that it's a hard product to hit something really good. So let's go back to J-Rod. What do you guys think of J-Rod having another image variation for this set? Do you care at all, or?
I personally don't care, because I like the scarcity and the variation. So like the way I look at it is, you have series 2 J-Rod, that's a separate image. So that's going to be like your true flagship rookie card, kind of like the Acuna bat down. And then you have J-Rod. There's no base in regular Topps Chrome. It was a kind of like an SP that kind of got screwed up in the mix, that they didn't have it in Topps Chrome, but they have it in the Hobby Light boxes and other boxes that you could pull the SP. So there's that image, and then there's the logo fractor image, and then you have your true paper set in Topps Update. Right, so you have a bunch of images there, which they're gonna have their own, I think, desire, because people still collect paper parallel, right? Paper parallel. So Topps Update image is gonna be the one for that, and then you got the short printed in Topps Chrome, right? So all of the rookie cards, really, other than his Topps Update base, is gonna be kind of like a lower print run. There's a lot of variations, but lower print one. It's not like you have series 1, a bunch of, J-Rod, series 2, a bunch of J-Rod bases that are garbage. So the only real kind of mass printed, it will be the Topps Update, right? So I don't mind it too much. I think when it's all said and done, we're going to look back, and a lot of people are priced out of his Bowman Chrome anyway. So it's I feel like there's a lot of value in these cards potentially. If J-Rod becomes a player that everybody thinks he's going to become, you might be able to get even a Topps Update, paper parallel for a decent price relative to the type of player J-Rod kind of commands in terms of pricing.
Sure, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a pet peeve for me. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I already mentioned it, that I was always super confused of all the different J-Rod images, and to have another one on top, I mean, it just adds to the confusion. But I will say, I do like the Sapphire one the best.
Yeah, it's nice.
The one with him swinging with the sunglasses on. Yeah, I think it's the best image. So, as much as I am annoyed, it is pretty cool. The image is pretty awesome. So, yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, I get what both of you are saying. I'm going to side a little bit closer with John. I like things being a bit more consistent year over year, and this kind of like there's no rule anymore. They just threw out the rule book. They just threw out whatever they were doing consistently before this year, and they're like, well, we have a lot of photos of J-Rod hanging around. Let's just print another one for this product. And so yeah, as a collector, a little bit of a pet peeve. If we were doing this ranking game, it would be about 3 or 4. It's not a huge pet peeve,
right?
But it's something like I prefer not to see. But the picture's nice. I'll give you that for sure.
Yeah. But you know what? If this image similar to Acuna was the horizontal iconic, what is becoming the iconic image of J-Rod, that SP horizontal image, I think this set would have exploded in value.
Right.
Like I think that people would, similar to the Acuna, I think people would be all over that card. It's a bit of a shame that they didn't use that image, similar to what Scotty B was saying. But I mean,
so it's better for collectors, but not better for investor type hobbyists.
Yeah, I don't know, both ways, right? Because the fickle collector, like you just said right now, is like, I want consistency. Me too, sure, actually, okay. Right? I think on a collector personal level, I would have liked to see the horizontal image as a Sapphire product. That would have been amazing. But, plan B, they gave us a pretty good alternate image. So I don't know. You can't super complain.
Right. Okay. Well, it is what it is. So, so another J-Rod image, but overall, the Topps Chrome Sapphire looks pretty good, as it usually does in terms of just image and the aesthetic of the card itself. But sold out. So yeah, look on eBay, and our advice is look for the hits and bid on those. All right, let's move on to our discussion of the day, which is looking at some of the recent sales of big time cards and comparing the final sale prices to its peak price during the hobby hype. All right, so for each card, I want to know if you think it'll go lower as we head into 2023, or I'm curious if you bought the card before the hobby hype of 2020, 2021, would you sell the card at its current price knowing that you probably won't get peak value for it? But in most cases, as you'll soon see, you'll still have made some kind of profit. All right, so I'll just give you a few examples so you know exactly what I'm talking about. First one, Tom Brady, his iconic 2000 Playoff Contenders rookie autograph card, BGS 8.5, okay? Sold January 2018. I'm using early 2018 as the pre-hobby hype era. Let's just say that, okay?
Right.
So in January 2018, the BGS 8.5 of that card sold for $6,500, okay? At the peak, January 2022, it sold for $84,000. All right? So from $6,500 to $84,000. It just sold a couple of days ago, December 2022, for $25,100. So it went all the way up to $84K, and now it's down to $25K. But if you had it early 2018, you made a nice 4x profit, 3 to 4x profit.
Right.
So what are you doing?
For me, I'm holding at this point. Normally, I would have liked to take profit, obviously, a little earlier, but I think it's gonna go down a bit, even more, to be honest. And
okay.
I also think that it's fine that it goes down. I think there's opportunity there. Tom Brady is the type of player that you're going long on anyways. It's not like a card you can't wait to get rid of. It's something that probably is gonna potentially be generational for some people. So yeah, I'm holding at 25K if I had it, even though I had a chance to take profit, because I think that card could rebound one day and continuously go. If you're in the market for constantly buying, then yeah, I would sell and in hopes to be able to purchase at a lower cost, or maybe a better grade at a lower cost at that point.
Okay.
Do you guys know how many of these contenders are out there?
The 8.5 probably isn't that many, right?
Yeah,
I mean, in general, that card
low.
is probably pretty rare, right?
Right. I think so.
Yeah. I agree with Hyung. I think we are probably going to see some more dip Q1 spilling into Q2, I'd imagine, in the new year. So you could probably see this card, I would guess, maybe dip below 20K, like 18 17. I could see something like that. And I could see the argument that if you had it now and you had it when it was 6K and you're 4xing your money on it, sell it and get back into it when it's 18K or 17K or 16K. Now, the problem with something like a Contenders is it's pretty rare, right? And I think if it hits, there might be one sale out there that hits at 19 or 18, but after that, it might just shut down. And you may not see these come back until the market starts climbing again. And next thing you know, you're in a bidding war to try to get this card at 26, 27, 20. You just never know, right? So I think you can be cute about it, and I think you may be able to profit. But on some of these rare cards, if you're not desperate for the cash, I think for me, if I had the Tom Brady, I'd probably be holding and not try to get cute about $7,000, $6,000, $9,000. I'd rather hold it and then enjoy the ride when the card rebounds.
Right. I think I'm in the same boat as you guys, just because that card for Tom Brady is pretty grail for a lot of people,
right.
Pretty iconic. So as tempting I would be to get that 4x profit, I would hold and look more long term, thinking that it'll go back up eventually because of who Brady is, right? So let's go to the next card. Another GOAT, Michael Jordan, his 1986 Fleer, the iconic Fleer rookie card. His BGS 9.5 gem mint. If you bought it in February of 2018, pre-hobby hype, you could have got it for just under $7,000, $6,900 to be exact. It sold February 2021 at the hobby hype for $144,000.
Wow.
It sold last week for $31,500.
Wow.
So if you had it for $7,000 4 years ago, and now it's going for about $31,000, what are you doing with that?
Man, this is kind of similar, because it's such a high grade, and the PSA 10 is such an iconic card in the hobby. A BGS 9.5 is probably the next best thing, and to us, compared to the PSA 10, it's super undervalued. And Jordan has been, I guess, kind of irrelevant in the hobby as of late. So prices have kind of staggered as low as, I believe, 27K on that particular card, or a BGS 9.5. It's been as low as 27,000. I think it's gonna drop even more, to be honest, closer to that mark, because there's a lot out there. There's 535 BGS 9.5s. That's not enough to sustain, kind of like to weather the storm. There's going to be people who are cashing out, and people who are buying at bargains. So I expect it to retract. Honestly, it could be a same thing as Tom Brady. This card could go down in value, and but at the same time, it's always hard to purchase a BGS 9.5 Michael Jordan in 86 Flair. Like, it's not easy to just be able to purchase that, and you're ready to do it at any given day or when it comes to sales. So at the same time, like, I think it's a great buy regardless, because it's the same thing where I think it could be eventually it will go up, right? So it's just a matter of when and how your tolerance is. If you could wait and be patient, hoping that one opens up at a cheaper price, right? So, but there might be other people in play at that point, because BGS 9.5s are pretty clean copies. That Jordan that sold looks pretty just like a PSA 10. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of value in BGS 9.5s, especially in the 86 Flair. So I'm in the same boat as Brady, the Contenders as well on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Quite boring, but I definitely agree. I probably apply the same comments that I said about the Brady here. Although I think if you're in a position where you needed some cash, it really is circumstantial. Let's say I was holding both of these cards. I certainly would consider this one first if I needed to liquidate and get some cash. I think this is the one of the two you can be a bit more cute with, and you probably have a pretty solid chance of getting back into it at a cheaper price in 5 or 6 months. So a little bit of a gamble, but if you needed to do it, I think this is the one you can be a bit more cute with.
Yeah, I agree. I won't belabor this point, and it just falls into the same category as a Brady's playoff contenders. They're both iconic, and it's a long-term hold for me anyway. So, all right, 2 more, and this is a little bit different. Michael Jordan's 1985 Nike promo card. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Where
I do.
The Air Jordan.
The big long one.
Yeah.
I have
It's
a
not as
BGS 9.
iconic. Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I do have a
Wow.
BGS 9 of that.
Yeah. It's a pretty sweet looking card. It's not as iconic, of course, as his Fleer rookie or even the Star rookie, of course. But in February 2018, it sold for $755. Okay. Sold February 2021 at its peak for $54,000.
Wow.
It sold last week for $10,500.
Man, this one is interesting because the profit is so great, right?
Huge.
Are we talking about PSA 10?
PSA 10. Sorry, yes.
So PSA 10. So I do like, honestly, that card is beautiful on a PSA 10. It is an oversized card, so it's something you got to get used to with the PSA slabs as well as BGS slabs,
Right.
in terms of the look. So I'm actually gonna be, oh man, I would keep a PSA 10 at 10K for PC because I think it's a sick card. It's one of Jordan's first card, but I would be tempted to sell at some point if I'm in it for $700 and kind of move my money into like a 84 star or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where because the card isn't as, I guess, popular. I like it for PC just because it's just I mean, you see the image, it has the Nike flight logo. Like there's so many cool aspects of that card that I personally like, and I do have a copy, and I don't think I'd be selling it just because it would just be to basically cash out. And I believe that long term that there's some legs in the Nike promo for sure.
Okay.
So
You're holding. Wow. Okay.
No, I'm you know what? I'd probably be selling.
You would be?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just be hesitant because it is a low pop. It's like pop 170 for the PSA 10, so it's gonna just be harder to get if I do want to purchase it, right? So
Right.
but they're
Get it
out
back.
there, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where I'd really stand with this one. This one's tricky. Personally, I love it. I would absolutely love owning a PSA 10. I don't like oversized though, and I'm sure that has some factor into some of these fickle collectors as well.
Yeah.
And I think in a vacuum, like this card went to the moon probably based on hype a lot more than the previous two. So I'm a little bit scared where this card could kind of really end up when all is settled, when it does settle. So for me, I think this card, as much as I would hate to let it go as a PC and as a collector, I would probably use this one for the money and sell it because
Sure.
a part of me thinks it could go down to like 5, 6, 7,000.
Yeah.
And who knows? We don't know where we really stand with this one. It's not necessarily super iconic. So,
Yeah.
and people may disagree with me on that, but yeah, I think I'm going to sell this one.
Yeah. You actually took the words right out of my mouth. I think it has potential to go like even 50% of what it just sold for, just because I do believe the hype really propped this card up. That doesn't take away from the appeal of the card, but I think there's still downward pressure on this card. So I'm gonna, if I could take it for 10K, I'm taking the profit and looking to reinvest into something else. Okay, one last one. I didn't put in the show notes, but I put this on my Instagram Reels on 5 Card Guys. Tons of comments, and one person wrote that I only showed the peak price at $43,000, and the card I'm talking about is the Giannis Green Prism color match of his rookie card, 2013 Prism. And some people were saying the $43,000 wasn't a real sale. I have no idea of whether that's true or not, but let's just say for this example, it wasn't a real sale. So in 2018, March of 2018, I was just looking it up. You could have bought it for about $850. PSA 10 of the Giannis Green Prism, his rookie.
Not numbered,
right? In the Hobby Hype, August of 2021, the peak was about almost 20K, 19,800, and then it sold recently for almost half of that, 10,500.
Wow.
What are you doing with Giannis's non-numbered Green Prism color match card?
I'm holding it for sure. at pop 38. I don't know if that card's gonna go. It could go cheaper. There could be 37 people holding it, right? So,
Yeah.
I think it has protection in terms of what Giannis, the type of player he is, and what he's accomplished to date. And I think there's a lot more that he's gonna add to the brass. And it's hard to get into a Giannis card. And before, like we all said he was overpriced. You know, the market was inflated, and well, here's the chance now, right? Like a lower pop Giannis, even though it's not numbered. If you look at the pop counts between PSA and BGS, you're talking, I'd say 80, 90. We're talking 140 copies that exist in the registry in terms of BGS and PSA. So for me, it's a lower pop card. I don't mind holding this one. I think Giannis has a lot more left in terms of his career, and it's one of those things where you could enjoy, if you enjoy him as a player, obviously, and his success. So I'm gonna ride this one and hold that even at 10.5K.
Okay.
Yep. If I own this card, I am holding it. If I don't own this card and I'm want to get into on a Grail Giannis, I am buying it. I think if it happens to pop up again, which it'll probably be pretty tough, and it goes for under 10K, somebody should be snapping that up right away. Like obviously you guys know that I'm bigger on Luka than I am Giannis, and it has everything to do with the sort of sex appeal of like a player being able to hit game-winning shots and all of that stuff. I think that's like a sort of a negative to Giannis's overall appeal in sports and in sports cards. But Giannis is going to keep racking up trophies, man. He's kind of like Ohtani. As long as he stays healthy, he is going to be in the mix for MVP every year, without a doubt. And he's probably going to be in the mix to reach semifinals or finals,
Sure.
Eastern Conference finals, and always kind of give himself a chance at the championship. So I think he's just one of these guys that are continue to stack up, and he's probably going to finish like as an all-time player. So I think if you can get into some of his, if you're big on Giannis and you're grail hunting in the next 6 months, I think this is a pretty big card. Should be buying it.
Yeah, I love this card. That being said, I'm a little nervous with the state of the market with non-numbered cards. Like I have a Jason Tatum Green Prism. I love the look of it, but I'm looking to potentially move it soon because Tatum's doing amazing right now, and it looks like his market is trending up. So I'm looking to do something similar with my Tatum card. If I had a Giannis, I would be in the same boat. I would probably try to move it, and I would try to get back into Giannis with like a rookie autograph card that's under 10K, even if it's a lower grade than a PSA 10.
Right.
I feel more comfortable with, numbered or autograph cards more long term. So that's what I would probably be doing, especially if I bought it for $850. It's kind of similar to the Nike promo. I'm so tempted to just take my profits at that point and reinvest it in a higher end card for that player. All right. That was a fun exercise. We'll try to do this again. I love looking at card ladder data and just seeing, especially when the PWCC auctions end. It's crazy right now, like what they're going for these days compared to what they did a year or 2 years ago. So it's always fun to look at that. And, despite what people write in my comments, I'm not a hater. I love the hobby. They think, I'm bringing the hobby down because I'm just showing data on my reels. Like this is a reality, guys. This is what's happening. I'm not influencing the market, but and even in my captions, I'm like, is this a buying opportunity? I'm always looking to buy. So that's where I'm at. So I just wanted to clear that up as well. All right, that wraps up this Friday's episode, and we'll be back on Tuesday for a regular full episode. So we'll see you then. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.